whenever you're reading or going through topper copies, you need to see what kind of introduction you are reading in topper copies. Sometimes you can also use those introductions. You need to write 3 points which are very much to the point to the question, right? That is where this example is very much highlighted. He has written only 3 points, just 3 points, but again very impactful points with respect to the demand of the question. If you read the content, how is content the hero? He has mentioned that he has enriched the content with a apt number of examples, right? He has enriched with schemes including reference to PM Sampada, FSSI, Agmark, reflecting the idea that he is aware about the respective policies of the respective government towards it. He has used real world examples in terms of linkage, mentioning the recent cases of MDH, Nestle, right, to ground the answer in current affairs. Hello everyone, welcome to yet another session of getting insights from topper copies. So again, as prelims examination is over, now you all must be preparing for the mains examination. So answer writing is a very key component in this whole journey of mains examination, and certainly topper copies are going to give you a beautiful insights that how exactly something worked for a topper who have written answers in a certain way. Because again, as I discussed earlier as well, that again approximately 14,000, 15,000 people will be writing this year mains examination, and of course few 3,000, 2,500 people are going to qualify the mains examination. Certainly you are just not going to write answers, you are going to write a very good presentable content enriched answer, right? So of course apart from the content, topper copies helps us to understand that what exactly is a justified way or a certified way to write an answer to fetch good marks, which toppers have already got, right? So when we say that aspirants, whenever aspirants needs clarity with respect to how to write impactful answers, topper copies are often the go-to resource nowadays, right? So they are no longer seen as something mystery, right? They are widely available in the platforms and the VisionIAS. In the VisionIAS website, you can find the topper copies, right? So they have become a very credible example of how to meet the question demand with precision and depth, right? So today we are going to talk about Trilok Singh, who has secured an all rank of 20 in 2024 CSE examination, right? So we will try to figure out what we can learn from his answer samples, which not only reflect the high scores, but also bring out smart writing strategies that can guide aspiring candidates who are writing examination, right? So let's see, I have taken up one question of GS paper number 3. So we'll discuss these 4 major components which forms the bedrock of any good answer writing. That again, whenever you read a question, the strategy thinking part, right? Then again we'll discuss the content, of which of course is a hero of the answer, right? Then how exactly you're organizing the content of the answer with respect to the demand of the question, followed by some presentation aspects which is very importantly required in the examination, which is of course certainly going to give you an edge over other answers which are not very well presented, right? So let's see the question. This is GS paper 3 question we are going to discuss. So the question was, how is the rapid growth of food processing industry leading to food safety challenges in India, right? So we are just going to see, again, whenever we read the question, we need to firstly understand in examination, the demand of the question has to be understood by reading the question, right? So whenever you read the question, understand what is the keyword asked, what is the keyword there, right? What all things are demanded in the question. For example, if you read the question here, they're asking how is the rapid growth of food processing industry leading to food safety challenges in India. Again, it's a 150 word marker question of 10 marker question for this particular question, right? So we'll see how Trilok has attempted this question, right? And which of course is a very good way to attempt this particular question, right? So let's see, this is how broadly he has written, right? So this is how maybe a 10 marker question where again you have 2 pages to write, and this is how certainly you see how beautifully he has structured the answer in terms of content presentation, in terms of underlining important keywords, in terms of addressing the key demands of the question with respect to giving headings, right? We discussed now there is a rapid growth of food processing industry. He has given the first idea that how food processing industries in India are growing in a rapid manner by giving examples. The second part of the question asks you what are the challenges which are associated with this rising food processing industry, the challenges we have mentioned here, and towards the end a very good optimistic way forward, putting up maybe the idea of what we call as government schemes, what is the vision of India when it comes to this, right? So his answer is aligning with the core demand, that is linking rapid growth with emerging food safety challenges in India, showcasing the problems, right, and the cause of such problems with a very solution a solution to that problem in a very sequenced manner. That is how he has attempted the question. We'll try and see the 3 components, and again very of course the standard format of an answer is IBC model, it is introduction, body and conclusion, which he has also followed, right? So let's see the introduction first. In introduction, so this is how he has mentioned India's food processing industry, again underlining food processing, again important keywords are underlined, right? Industry is a sunrise industry, right? And that is how you see the choice of words, because of course that is what topper copies teaches you. Whenever you're reading or going through topper copies, you need to see what kind of introduction you are reading in topper copies. Sometimes you can also use those introductions, because we generally talk that introductions and the conclusions are 2 things which you can pre-prepare for every topic of the mains examination, specifically for paper 2 and 3. So why not to use some introductions which are standardly done, written by the toppers and are available, right? So something which excites you once you read it, that is one thing which gives you understand that yes, this is a very impactful introduction, right? So certainly please go through all the introductions and conclusions, make standard templates for that, right? And use topper copies in that for that particular purpose as well, right? So India's food processing industry is a sunrise industry, right? How beautifully he has mentioned that with a CAGR of 12%, again data. He is not only telling that food processing industry is a sunrise industry, but he is also substantiating that particular point what he has mentioned with a fact, with a data, which is validating the point what he has mentioned, right? Then he is also telling how it is expected to grow in the near future. It is expected to boost India's agricultural GDP. Now he is linking food processing to agriculture GDP. So again, it shows the in-depth understanding of the topic with relation to linking it with agricultural GDP, right? So his introduction is very data-driven, right? So again, a data-driven opening to the answer, highlighting the rapid growth rate of India's food processing industries, followed by showing that he has shown that how his grasp of larger economical context, linking it with agricultural GDP, what he has done, right? That is how an impactful introduction are written. So again, there are few samples which of course topper copies gives you an insight that what are some good things which are good introductions which toppers are writing, which I can also use in my answer writing format. Now coming to the body, again see 2 important keywords, food processing underlined, CAGR underlined, right? Then if we come to the body, now the first part of the question was there is a rapid growth of food processing industry. So again, that's where it starts. He has very beautifully underlined and given the first heading, right? You need to make the task of the examiner who is evaluating your copy easier. How you can make it easy for him? By specifically mentioning or clearly giving headings what exactly is the demand of the question, right? So that's how you are making his task easier. The more you make the task of the examiner easier, the more marks you're going to fetch in that particular answer, right? So please write it down and see that how toppers are very clearly writing all the demands of the question in a very systematic manner by giving headings. So first demand of the question was that how rapid growth of food processing industry is happening in India. So again, as it was a 10 marker question, many students very certain times have this question in mind ki how many points I need to write, whether I need to write 5 point, 6 point, whether I need to write in a bullet point format, whether I should write in a paragraph format, right? So there's a lot of confusion, right? So again, based on the nature of question, attempt the number of points. There are 20 questions. 20 questions cannot be written in a same manner, right? So maybe some questions you will have very brief points. Some questions you will try to substantiate your point with data, with schemes of government, right? So of course, depending upon the nature of question, whether it is a 10 marker question, whether it is a 15 marker question, your number of points would be determined. Don't just write multiple points thinking that I have written only 2 points. You need to write 3 points which are very much to the point, to the question, right? That is where this example is very much highlighted. He has written only 3 points, just 3 points, but again very impactful points with respect to the demand of the question. That how exactly there is a rapid growth of food processing industries in India. Number 1, creation of food processing industries and farmers unions through support from schemes like, and again linking how this industry has been increasing in India, right, with formation of what? Food processing organizations, then farmers unions through support of schemes like PM Sampada scheme, right, and agricultural infrastructure fund. So this is how maybe you can understand, this is how maybe the one thing which has led to food processing industry's growth, followed by local units created under one district, one product. Again, linking it with one of the scheme of the government. That is where you see linking or validating your point, what he has mentioned through substantiation of, with substantiating it with respective scheme. Right, that is how you can understand how beautifully he has written that local units created under one district, one product. And again given an example of Uttarakhand, where again red rice of Uttarakhand and this is Kadaknath turmeric. This is being how he has incorporated few examples in his answer writing, right? Then self-help groups and role of corporate sector also fueling the growth. That how it is not just only about these two sectors, but again the role of corporate sector in growth of food processing industries in India, right? So he has connected government schemes like PM Sampada, local unit initiatives like one district, one product, right, to the opportunities and challenges, demonstrating an integrated approach to policy relevance, right? That is what he has done in this particular answer. Now, if we move out to the second part has reflected that how these growing food processing industry is posing a challenge to what? The food safety in India. And this is where he has incorporated some relevant things in his answer in terms of what? Let's see. Number 1, again giving a heading that again leading to food safety challenges, again addressing the demand of the question, right? So using additives and pollutants in food, right? Maybe now there is a lot of adulteration which is being done in food. And again how he has linked with a very real life example and what has happened very recently. Right? Giving an example, recent case of MDH masala, right, and the Nestle adulteration issues, right? That is how he has linked a particular initiative or a particular challenge with a realistic example. That is where the examiner will get to understand that this student has a very beautiful understanding of the challenge what he is mentioning, and he is relating it to a contemporary issue happening in the country as of now, right? Then rapid growth of food processing industries are not accompanied with safety mechanisms. Example, it leads to flouting of norms at local food processing organizations, right? Then many FPOs not labeling proper information leading to allergies and health concerns in consumers. That is what, and again we think we'll know all of these, but the point here is ki how you are going to make the task of examiner easier and how you are going to showcase your understanding skills to the examiner who is evaluating copy, that you have a very good understanding of the topic. And through these simple points, the more you make it simple, the more, of course, are the chances of getting you good marks in the examination, right? So that is how he has divided the body into two parts, specifically to the growth factors which are leading to the food in the emergence of food processing industries, and the challenges which are emerging out of it. For example, the use of examples of food additives, that is the local FPO issues, and the allergies or the not safety remarks which are being done in that particular aspect, which he has discussed, right? So now conclusion, the last part. So again, conclusion, again, very beautifully has mentioned that is what exactly, because if we are discussing any challenge in a question, so as towards the end, we need to give a solution or way forward, because that is how you're going to optimistically end the answer, right? So his conclusion, let's see what he has given a way forward, that is how we are going to cope up with the challenges what he has discussed. So what is the way ahead? Again, of course, there's a paucity of time over here. That is how he has mentioned the way ahead. And again, he has given examples at how organizations of SSAI, that is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, to play a proactive role by promoting Sampurna Poshan Swasthya, what we call as Javan, right? Then what we have seen, Agmark by APCD, APIDA, necessary for such products. Then localized interventions like Shuddh Ke Liye Yudh, again using example of Rajasthan government initiative. How government backed solutions he has told. He is not telling anything new. He is telling that yes, there are few of the things or few of associated things happening with respect to food processing industry. Let's harness the potential what already we have, right? So that is how interlinking of something which is already there to an existing problem to solve that particular challenge what he has mentioned. Then again, last and again a very impactful line what he have mentioned, that safe and robust food processing industries will keep achieving again the twin objectives of India. Again, as in the initial introduction you have understood that he has linked the food processing industries with agricultural GDP. So towards the end he is making a remark for that as well, that again it is going to achieve two twin objective of India in terms of what? Doubling of farmer income and what is called as nutritional security, right? So interlinking of topics. So again, as you understand, it was a GS3 paper, but he has interlinked with a social justice problem of nutrition also, right? So that is where you understand that the conclusion is focusing more on solutions with specific policy recommendations like FSSAI or like let's say Agmark, right? Interventions and also localized interventions, right? So his answers maintains a very logical flow from growth drivers to challenge avoiding very abrupt transition, right? So that's how he has mentioned. Now in terms of content, if you look at the overall content of the answer, yes. If you look at, this is how the overall answer looked like. I broke it down so that again it will be clearly visible to you. Now just showcasing it and discussing. If you read the content, how is content the hero? He has mentioned that he has enriched the content with a apt number of examples, right? He has enriched with schemes including reference to PM Sampada, FSSI, Agmark, reflecting the idea that he is aware about the respective policies of the respective government towards it. He has used real world examples in terms of linkage, mentioning the recent cases of MDH, Nestle, right, to ground the answer in current affairs, right? His depth of understanding is showcased by that how he has highlighted both the macro, that is industrial growth, and the micro, that is local FPO's dimensions, showing a multi-dimensional thinking. Then in terms of challenges, in terms of solutions, he does not stop at does not stop just listing the problems. He has also suggested frameworks and regulatory frameworks and future direction. That is how he is meeting the UPSC's expectations of a balanced analysis, right? In terms of presentation, if you understand and if you see that he, again, the answer is very in a readable layout, right? It is well spaced. Subheadings are given, bullet points are mentioned, and this is a very consistent font throughout the answer, right? And underlining and boxing of all the important headings have been done. Clear and very concise language, no use of very fancy words, any fancy languages, very simple, right? And Visual neatness, if you look at the answer, it is very visually neat, right? So that is where, again, people usually have this concept or have this understanding that we need to have a very beautiful handwriting. No, neatness and cleanliness. So whenever an examiner is reading your answer, it should be in a very readable format, right? So that is how, and which is very essential in a high pressure exam conditions where again you are supposed to write 20 questions in the span of 3 hours, right? So that's how it is. So now coming back to the whole point, so that what we have discussed, we'll just briefly summarize that. So what exactly topper copies or topper way of answer writing copies help us about understanding of answer writing practice? So firstly, we need to understand the demand of the question. What is the larger context of the question before writing or attempting an answer, right? We need to structure our answer first around the ideas what we have in our mind with respect to the respective topic. We need to enrich the content with, of course, data, policies, links, balanced perspectives, right? You need to keep your answer very crisp, very visually clear, and again, evaluator friendly, right? And of course, the idea, of course, you should be, as you are going to be future civil servant, you should think like a problem solver, right? So that is where the ending part of your answer is going to reflect the problem solver attitude which as a person you have, which is going to impress the examiner who is evaluating your copy, right? So this is how topper copies is going to help you out, right? So at VisionIAS, yes, we have built an ecosystem where again such writing is nurtured through very topper validated frameworks. There is personalized mentoring which is being given to you, right? We have a very innovative assessment system, right, which is designed to refine your answers with precision, with depth, with high scoring potential areas, right? Because behind every topper copy there is a legacy of what we call as consistency, practice, and a guided improvement, right? So there are different programs that again depend upon what level you are, what stage of examination you are. We have foundation courses where again answer writing are being done on a regular basis through assignments, right? We have different programs of Sandhan, we have all in a test series, we have Lakshya mains program, right? So Abhyas mains is there, right? So we have a lot of programs which are designed to enhance your answer writing skills depending upon what nature and what stage of preparation you are, right? So start your journey like a topper, right, through which is very structured, mentored, and evaluated with a purpose only at VisionIAS. So thank you so very much.